All right, hey guys, how's it going? Sam here with you on 19th of September, Monday, about 12:15 here. Now, normally I'd be in the midst of a live stream, but my schedule was a little, I couldn't do it today. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to do it live. So I'm taking the same idea. I've got charts here. I think I've got 4 charts from members and 1 chart from a Sensei Tony Talon is giving us something to work with as well. So we'll get to those in a sec. Before I do that, I thought I would take the opportunity here because I just have some striking examples here. Now this is, I wanted to just review what you hear me talking about the measured move algo all the time, right? It's virtually, there's not a video I've ever done where it's not kind of the feature piece of it. But it struck me that perhaps, right, there are those that, hear me talk about it or they kind of dabbled with it, but they don't completely understand it. So if you're trading it now, if it's part of your arsenal of technical tools and you're very comfortable with it, you have conviction, you understand it, you know what's behind it, you know where it came from, all good. Well, you can just fast forward here and I'll have the chapters listed here. So you can fast forward to that section when we get into the actual asset analysis. But for those of you, it occurs to me that we might have new viewers, new members, people that go, yeah, he talks about that thing all the time, but I don't know. I don't understand it enough to actually put money at risk behind it. So what I thought I would do here is do 2 things. One, I want to refer you to a video where I really went through historically, my interpretation of how this was identified, found, well, more than my interpretation. I know this is how it was found. So I just thought I would refer you to that if you wanted a little historical context. It's where the hell, how is this a thing? So if you come over here, I'm just on our YouTube page, and if you just go to the little search here, because it's the only way I can find it. So if you just go to the little search bar here and you type in algo, and then hit enter, well, it's the first one that's going to come up. A history lesson and current examples. Now, this is over a year old. It wouldn't matter. It could be 5 years old. But the examples in there would be just as relevant here. So if you're interested in a little bit of historical, okay, how did this thing get identified? Where did it come from? What's behind it? And some of the theory of how to apply it and watch how it's applied by institutions in the market, this would be a great place to go. It's a 30-minute video. So, I mean, it's there if somebody wants a little bit more, history behind this. Okay, so if you're completely comfortable with it, you can fast forward ahead. If you're not, well, let's just go through a few examples here. And I'm going to bounce around asset classes here. So I'm going to start with this because it's just such a striking example. Now, so of course, members will have all seen this because I posted this for everybody. Here I am on Monday. This is last Friday, right? Now, that was a triple witching day. So you had all sorts of, there are things going on behind the scenes, right? So whether options are going to expire in or out of the money. But look at this at the end of the day. Now, I'm just going from the swing low of the day. We get the push up, we retrace, hit 50 to the tick, and then this is where we close the day. I mean, that is literally a blueprint of what this algorithm does, right? It just happens to be this one is off the 50, but note that the target is to the tick. This is from tick to tick precision. You've heard me say this many, many, many times before. We human beings, we are not that precise, right? There's no possible way that collectively a group of human beings could execute that. And it's not going to happen. Only software can do that. So here, this is just such a beautiful example here. I mean, I'm tempted to print it and put it as a poster on my wall. I mean, it's such a striking example. I mean, there it is, bulletproof in your face. Right? Okay, we say, well, big deal. You got 1 in the S&P. Well, let's just go to the S&P today, just out of curiosity here. Well, here's the S&P today. Right, this is a live market, right? So here's the last swing down. Here's the low. We retrace, screamed all the way up. What do we do here? Double top at a 50. Well, now again here I'm on a 30-minute. We retrace down here. We're in the pocket here. There's a little fair value gap there that may be part of why that's reacting here. So we come down between the 50 and the golden zone. Now, who's going to win here? We don't know, right? That's always the key here. Where's the target? Right here, right? At the next golden zone. If the buy side algo is going to win the day, right? We don't know, right? Because the sell side algo here sold it at the 50. Their target is down here. Now, we don't know who's going to win, right? We never know which side is going to win. Now, we can use trend direction, right? Obviously, trend has been down. Now, we got a slight break here. Actually, did we? No, we did not. Pardon me. So we did not get a break of structure here because this is just wicks. So right now, the trend remains down. It's still lower lows and lower highs. We do not have even a change of character here because this is all just wicks. So we don't have a close above this pivot. These are the dominants, right, on higher time frames. Before we get a trend change, we got to get a significant break of structure. Let me say it that way. we got to get up here. Right, so so we went from this being a 5-minute chart. Now we're over here. This is a 30-minute chart where you can just see the range of the day. We say, okay, but hey, man, I don't trade the S&P. I'm a crypto guy. Okay, well, let's go look at crypto. This is what I did. I just took the futures contracts over on BitGet. You guys know that we're now sponsored by BitGet here, and so I'm trading their futures actively. I thought we buzz here. These are the, what do I get, 7 cryptos here that I'm trading over there. So I just noted them here, BitGet futures, right? That's the attraction of BitGet, is the futures. So I come over here and I go, okay, well, let's start with BitGet, or pardon me, let's start with Bitcoin. Okay, where's my little. Here we go. All right, so swing down, retrace, golden zone. Okay, right. We're not to target yet. We're not there yet, but we can look down here and we say, okay, we got a target at basically 17,000. Right now, are we going to get there? Well, I wouldn't bet against it. Right now, do you understand here? And if you go through that video where I take you through the history of this thing and how it works on both sides, here, let me get rid of that, how it works on both sides, then you'll understand while we have we have a target here that is not reached. That doesn't necessarily mean that it won't be reached. It also doesn't mean that it will be reached. We don't know. We just know that an algo fired here, and it's going to stay short. It's going to continue to defend until this breaks the 65, right? But right now, so you can look at this and say, okay, well, if it starts to retrace and we come back again, oh, well, I've got the potential for another one right here, right? So that's how it works, right? So it would come here. You'd have another one right here. Now you'd have 2 targets. Now, we don't have this yet, but that's what I'd be watching for, because often you'll find them nested within, smaller ones nested within larger ones. Like, oh, shit, looks like you had them up here, right? Oh, I think it was this one. Right, so here, right, it comes a little, so it's swing. Now, remember, again, if you watch that video, what the algorithm will do is if it breaks here and you have a slight break here, it'll just go back a pivot. Right, so thus I know this is still active, right? But now, is that a front run? Possibly. That's possible. That's a little far for a front run. Possible. That's what's happening there. But as we come down, now golden zone. Now, of course, now we break here. So sell side is in charge, and now this would be the next thing. If we're going to retrace, you'd be looking for something here or here. Right, we don't know, right? But that's where it sits right now. You say, okay, well, all right, yeah, you've shown it to me in Bitcoin. Okay, great. But I'm trading ETH. Okay, let's go over to ETH. I mean, I could look. This is just the mirror image, right? So here's the S&P, 50 to the tick, target to the tick. Now let's go over to ETH, right? Swing, retrace, golden zone, target to the tick. That's an 8-hour on Ethereum, right? Just so you can see it. Now you'd be looking and say, oh, from the low, how do we look here? Do you guys starting to get it, right? I mean, it's just over and over and over and over and over. Did I say over and over again? It's just nonstop. It's just algo ping pong, right? So right now we're just stuck between 2 algorithms. But this is how this is not why the market moves. It's how it moves when it moves, right? Okay, so we got to be clear on this. What moves the market, right? It's not you and me. Institutions move the markets, or you want to call in crypto, you want to call them whales. Okay, whales move the market. It is not the retail trader that moves the market. If they want it down, they take it down. If they want it up, they take it up, right? So we know now in traditional assets, it's over 95% of all the trading is done by algorithms, right? By software. Right, so you got to know what the software is doing, and then again, of course, right, this algorithm here is in every major asset. It doesn't matter. It's in every asset, every time frame, every day. It never gets turned off, ever, nonstop. Right, which is why I can go through every single chart. There's nothing you couldn't put in front of me where I couldn't show you this algorithm. It's just it's always there. Now maybe something ridiculous little shit coin with no volume, maybe, but anything with any significant volume, this algorithm is in there. Oh, you say, okay, well, all right, well, that's pretty cool on E. Well, so you showed it to me in the S&P, you showed it to me in Bitcoin, you showed it to me in Ethereum. Okay, but I'm an altcoin trader. I'm trading the alts. Okay, well, how about XRP? Well, now here we got a little bit of a wick that's gone through. All I did was just grab these and just start applying. Okay, so that's wick that's gone through, so it's still active, right? We need a close below. That's what we're starting to see, is that we will see wicks go through, particularly in crypto, where there's likely liquidation going on down here. So it extends a little further. They get the last guy out, and then we start to get a pop. All right, you say, okay, well, that's a little sloppy. Well, let's try EOS. Swing low, swing high, what do? That hits 65 to the tick and we get a bounce. Now, do we know, right, that that's going to go to that target? Of course, we don't know that, but I know what happened here. Look what happened at the 50. So there's the first reaction, right? If they can't get it to go off of the 50, now we go golden zone, right? There's the target. All right, well, that's okay. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, the S&P, EOS. Okay, I'm still not convinced. Litecoin. Now, this is a breakdown here, but it's just wick, right? So notice here. So this is what we do here. We get here, we come down, we have the closes are at the 65. One wick goes through, then here's target. Now, you say, okay, well, that's interesting. What about here? What about all the way up? Wouldn't I go all the way up? You guys starting to see this? Right, if I'm going to go, I'm just going dominant to dominant. Where do we retrace to? Where do we get the reaction? Golden zone. Okay, well, that's good in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, EOS, and Litecoin. What about Uniswap? Well, Uniswap here, I'm going to take this off so you can see it, right? So first we go up, we hit, well, so first here's the reaction at the 50. Then here's the reaction at the golden zone, back into the golden zone. Oh, can't, now we break, right? So the buy side has been broken at this range. Well, you'd be looking here going, wonder why I couldn't get any further here. Is it the supply zone? Could be. Certainly, we're tagging a supply zone. Now, you'll note here that there are little wicks along the way. I'm on an 8-hour here, and so we have to do a little bit of testing to see what the algorithm used, and I believe it's this one. Right, so if we come from this secondary pivot, and so why am I using that? Because the algorithm used it. Because if I go right here, oh shit, come here. If I go right here, you can see they used it here, right? So you always want to use a pivot that the algorithm used. So here's a swing to the 50, right? Gets first target. So I know they used it, which is why I come back here and I go, oh, let's check this one. Boom, there it is, right? There's the target below. But you see we've broken this side, broken. Now, this is the one that's active. You starting to see that, guys? Okay, well, now let's go to the link. Link is literally just in a box between two golden zones. So here, dominant high to dominant low, we come back golden zone. Dominant low to dominant high, triple bottom in the golden zone. Right, and I'm just taking the major futures contracts over there. I mean, there is no place anywhere where I won't find this. It's always there. I showed this one. Here, let's start with the weekly. Oh no, let's start with the what shit? What do I have here? Daily. All right, here's the dollar, right? This is a series. I probably could have gone all the way back to the low, but I just didn't want to take too much time here. Swing 50 target. Swing golden zone target. Swing 50. Now, are we going to get that target? You note I've got an alert up there. Do you see what it's doing here? It's a series. It's down to the 50. There's the target. Now we go up, come back to the golden zone. There's the target. Just got the target. So do you see how it's just a repetition of this over and over again? If this isn't part of your technical analysis approach, you're doing yourself a disservice. Right here, I'm just giving it to you. Right, no cost. Right here, this is literally the keys to the market. Now I'm not saying don't. Let me be clear here. That doesn't mean that you've just tracked this and you're going to make money, because remember, it's on both sides. But when you get a series like this, boy, do you have a big advantage. And if you don't know about this, well, you do now. Well, you say, okay, well, that's great on the daily. What about the weekly? I showed this on video on the Friday Bitcoin video. Right, here's the weekly. Right, again, here's double bottom at the 50. There's the target on the weekly. Right, so we've got it on the weekly as well as the daily. Over and over and over and over again, right? Never changes. It's always on. It's not why the market moves. It's how it moves. And if you're not incorporating this into your TA, you're just doing yourself a disservice, right? If you don't know where it is, you'll trade right into it. You have to know that that's there. You have to know that that's there, or you'll sell right into it or buy right into it. Now, keep in mind that an algo target, hitting a target, is not a sell signal. It's just a heads up, right? You may see a reaction there. It may just be a pause and then go on to second target. But to really understand that, again, I take you back to, you got to go through a little bit of a history lesson there. All right, so that's what I wanted to go over here, because I just was this. Oh my God, mwah. All right, Jesus, I'm gonna have to put that on my somewhere. That's got to get posted. I can't put any better evidence in front of your face than that. Right, it's just as good as it gets. Okay, with all of that done, that's my little promo here, and I'd encourage you to invest 30 minutes, watch that. I think you'll be glad you did if you haven't done it already. Okay, so with that said, it's my little well, you know, what do I call that? A little gift to the market. If you hadn't seen that before, if you weren't completely rock solid on what's happening there, well, there you go. Okay, break here, and I'll be back in a second. We'll go through the setups that we have for today. These are all from members as well as a sensei. I can pretty much promise you that this algo will be featured in their work. Okay, back in a second. Okay, guys, first up, I've got Sensei Tony Talon. All right, of course, members will know Tony. Well, so those of you on the live stream, if you're not a member, you haven't seen a lot of his work. He's a level 2 certified Elliottian, is about as good as they get. That's why I hired him. And he's giving us a look here with an Elliott count on the leg down here of AAVE. All right, now he's got, we're on, what am I on here? Coinbase here, so we can get all the history. Oh, shit, here, I should probably pull out here. So let's get all of it. Now, we're going here, this November, we're at a low of 25 and a high of 672. That kind of range to me says log scale, right? I mean, out of log scale, right, it gets kind of hard to manage it. So I do think this won't, right? Typically it's, some people 3, 4 times the range, right? You want to at least look in log. Now here, it's a little more than 4 times. So I think we're very well it'd be a good idea to at least look at it in log scale, right? So that's how I analyze it here. Now, if you go from, so here I'm going from 25 to 700. Now, if I reduce the range and I'm just going to look at that one little bit, I don't have 4 times the range, then I can get out of log. But when I'm looking for the big picture here, I want to look at it in log. All right, so let's just stay with his work here. So he's not doing an Elliott count on the whole thing, right? You don't need. When we get here, what's important? I got a lower low, lower high, lower low, double top. Right? Looks like maybe a lower low would be coming. Well, let's dig in there a little bit to some of his work. So this is nice, right? Good use of a channel here. So, and this is something you do see a lot. So you'll note here that the channel, we get, this is beautiful. Oh, let me zoom in there a little bit more, right? So we get the center line of the channel, almost like hitting a median line, right? You get the center line to the tick. Now we come out of the channel, and this is something that most traders learn this from Al Brooks, right? If you have a channel like this on the first break of the channel, well, that's where I learned it. On the first break of the channel, this is when retail sells it, right? More typically, right? Now, there are no absolutes in the market, but most typically, retail sees that, and they may even just look at this as a trend line. They see the break, and they go, oh, time to get short, right? Time to get short because we're going down. Well, very high percentage of the time, there will be one more push to get the highs there, and then you'll get the turn. Now, this one comes up, and we go right up to, the last little kiss of the edge of it before we come down. And you might look at that and say, well, given the context of what we just went through in the first half of this video, wouldn't you want to check that, right? Wouldn't you be curious to see how that looked with regards to whether the algo was there? I'll start back one, see how that looks. You see it? All right, so we're going to go from swing into the golden zone, hits the 65 to the tick. There's the target. So you could look at this and say, well, hey, it's just a flag pattern. Yeah, it is. But it's a flag pattern, right? Now, why would you use that, right? Because you've got this one was used previously, right? You want to use pivots that they, oh shit, you probably got another one right here. It looks like you got a series going here, right? So you got another golden zone here. Do you see this? Now I'm on a daily. Do you see how this works? Well, let's get right on it. A series starts here. Okay, so I'm getting smaller swings and boom, target, boom. See how precise that is? Now we're free fall, right? So we're going past 1, 2, 3 targets, right? So we got something on a larger time frame is happening. I'm on the daily, so maybe you have to go to the weekly to identify what really happened there. But let's just stay. I will digress if I don't watch myself. Okay, so in terms of his work, let's look at his work. Okay, so we can see the algo is active here. We know that was the 50 right here. We just looked at shit. We could do it this way. We could go from the absolute high to here. Am I right on that? I'll make sure I'm on that low. Again, right? Do I need to comment? I mean, here we're past it, right? So here's to the tick. Now we're struggling with it. What a nice example of, now is this a supply zone? Yeah, there actually is, right? There actually is a little order block here. You could easily call that the order block here that we tapped into. But you also have prior support becoming resistance. So the amount of confluence that you have here is significant. Dominant to dominant, right to a 50. Oh shit, there's probably secondaries in there as well. If I go back to what we just used, I bet I got secondaries. Oh, I have to go back one. There it is, right? So do you look at the little pocket there between the 50 and the golden zone here, right? We know they use this, use that, use this. Now we come back. Boy, that's what you call confluence right there. If you're not sure, look at how many things we have coming together. What else could you put there, right? You could also, right? We'd have a corner pocket. Right, targets down below. So a lot going on right there, and then look what happens in the market. Okay, so let me clean some of this up, get this off of here so we can focus on his work. So let's get in over here, and I'm going to guess that you're going to find this featured in his work. Let's get this out of here. It's all my drawing. So what do we got there? So we're going to go from that pivot high to that pivot low. All right, so do you note here where he's tagged that little line here that he used for potential resistance. So we've come right up into the pocket between the 50 and the golden zone, right? So which he's identified. There's the 50. So we've come just a few, just wicks getting past the 50, coming up towards the golden zone, kind of tickle the under edge of it. Now, do you see it? Do you see where the target is? To the tick. Oh shit, sorry. That's to the tick. That from golden zone, here's the target to the tick. So here's his little drawing here. So what do we have here? We have a goal. God damn, I can't tell if it got there. You know, see in there. No, we didn't. We didn't quite make it to the golden zone. So we have a corner pocket. So what else is happening here, right? If you know, members will all know this. Trading principle. Let's get here. Oh shit! Is it? Yeah, trading principle number 1. If we are going to pivot here, we have an 80% probability of making the median line. Shit, I can't remember if it's principle number 1 or number 2. Well, I'm getting rusty, but I know the principle, right? So we have an 80% probability. So in addition to this, is why I incorporate the median lines, the pitchforks, along with the measured move, because I can put that on it and I get a target. And look where it hits the target. It hits the median line and the target within ticks, right? That's an 80% probability trade. That's the trade you want, right? So now we're looking here. So what's he anticipating? Now, remember, this isn't a buy signal. This is just, hey, we might get a reaction here because we've got a couple of technically confluent things happening here. We've hit the algo target to the tick, and we've hit the median line. So it's trading principle number 4. If we're going to bounce around here, number 3, if we're going to bounce around the median line, we could hover it. We could almost wrap around it like a snake before the market decides, are we going lower parallel or back to the upper parallel? Well, per his count here, he's evaluating this, looking for a bounce back this direction here. Now we come 50 to the golden zone. You see how he's tied it up right here? So when he's got a sliding parallel to the edge of the median lines, because he knows to do that. If we're going to go a little bit deeper, so all we're doing is just going, so the distance is exactly the same from here to here, from here to here, from here to here. So that would put us into the sell zone where he's got, right? You want, oops. Where he's got this identified as, oh shit, I guess I can't move that right there. There's your trade setup. Now we're not there yet. So what's interesting here, I'm going to just switch markets here just because I don't want to corrupt any of his work. Well, so what would you, right? So he's already drawn it, right? So here, right, if we had the lines here, so here's his golden zone and his 65 and 707, which, that's often a good choice to use just on the other side of the 707. If you want to use 786, give it a little more room. So there's your setup, just waiting for you to happen, right? With targets down below. And of course, back to the median line is a very real possibility. Now that's if we're breaking lower. Well, so you'd look here and say, because that distance to that distance looks like that could be something I want to pay attention to. So I'm just going to go back over here to BitGet. All I did was just go over to BitGet Futures, pull up AAVE. Look where we pivot. So do you see where we are here? That is, come over here, right? That is us hitting that right there. So if we look up here, we go here. You're starting to see how this all comes together, right? I mean, this should be, if you haven't seen this before, your mind should be absolutely blown right now. I mean, this is, there's nobody else. Well, there's other people teaching it, and all credit to David Halsey for identifying this. But boy, you got to know about it. Boy, you do, because here's what happens all the time. Retail doesn't know that's there, right? They'll buy right into it, or they don't know that this is right here, or they'll put their stop just a tick under the 618, right? Because that's what they've been taught to do. So do you see how now the question is, are we going to make that target? It looks like not, right? Unless we're going to free fall and we're going to break the 65 here. So you've got this algo that's come down, and here we got with 50 to the tick again. There's the target. Now it may not make that target, but that could easily just be a little front run. So you could very well have the same, whoever's behind the algo, right? You have the same whale, or call it what you will. They could have just taken profit on the short as it hits the golden zone for the long. Now, as we come back the other way, right, you're still going to have, well, you got to draw it differently. Now you got to draw it here. So you're still going to have to get through that 618, or pardon me, that golden zone here. So as we come back, well, first we got to get through the 50. Look, there's plenty of resistance there. Then we got to get through the golden zone before, right, now you go again. Right, so if I come back to his work here, now can we put some Elliott in context here? Well, he's got this identified, well, because as he would note, right, because he's done the same thing, right? If we're this is because he's in log scale, right? So if I take it out of log, there's golden zone. So if we look here from swing low to down here, now note here, now look at my range now. It's from 44 to 115, right? So I don't need to be in log scale here. So if I go swing low, swing high, I come right to the golden zone. Do you see now out of log, actually it's even better. Look here from this 50, right? So I get a corner pocket, not a golden, I get a corner pocket. Look as it hits the golden zone and the algo target is hitting the median line. I mean, it's just, I don't know anybody else who can show you this This is it, right? If you're looking for what's the secret to the market, the secret, please, somebody give me the secret. I just gave it to you. I just gave you the secret. There you go. All right, so here you see it, right? The median line's just, I mean, that's a secret that's been out since the 60s, right? It's amazing, right? It's absolutely astonishing, and you should be thankful of this. There is not a TA package that has ever been created that does not have median lines built into it. It's the least used technical tool of any. Yet it's the single most. If I could only use one thing, it would be median lines. That's it. That's all you need. Well, I don't know if I could have two. Boy, I sure would like the fibs, but I could probably just eyeball it, right? But if I could only have one technical tool, it'd be a median line. Right, so here you see it in perfect display, right? Again, I didn't pick AAVE. He did. Boom, boom, boom. It's just nothing but algos. Nothing but algos, median lines, fibs. It's just, there you go, right? Secrets of the market, right? I just gave it to you. Okay, I think that's everything on AAVE. Shit, we don't have anything. Oh, so now you're just waiting for, now we got this, we have this technical confluence right here. Okay, here we go. All right, does that mean that we must retrace? No, of course, my market has no obligation to do anything ever. It could just free fall from here. But if we do start to retrace, what do I know for sure? There's going to be an algo that's going to kick in there to sell it. Doesn't mean it, right? That is by no means does that mean that, oh well shit, all I have to do is sell it here and make a fortune. By no means am I saying that, because it could easily break. It could just easily break and go up to the 618 here, and you'd still have the same targets down here. That's why, okay, I just gave you the keys to the kingdom, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy, right? Because you got to deal with buy side, sell side, right? And you don't know who's going to win, right? So all we can do is kind of track and then use some additional technical tools. Okay, where's the trend direction? Who's most likely to win the battle here between algos, right? Can we use trend to try and help us? Well, it wouldn't hurt us. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So if we're coming here, wouldn't you anticipate that in this context here, since we know what the trend is, that you'd be favoring, you'd give the odds to the sell side to be the winner here, even though on this retrace, buy side held it. And you could make a pretty compelling case here that you might have, some sort of a 3, 4, 5, something along the, oh, shit, I guess we'd have to do it here. 3, 4, oh, maybe we can work that into some sort of a, oh, it's not gorgeous, right? But we probably got some sort of a impulse there. God, can I get that done? Well, you may not. You may have to do that as a, I guess you'd have to do that as a, pardon me, it looks like it's all ABC. So we'd have to do it as a diag. 1, 2, ABC, ABC. It looks like you'd have to do it as a diag. Or I'm kind of loosely going through that. But here, so potentially, this is an impulse. This is a correction. All this is not the cleanest impulse. Or pardon me. Motive wave, diag. So the series of lower lows, lower highs continues, right, until you see something change here and we get a big break of structure here and we go up. Maybe the buy side gets its target right here. Would we have a change of trend there? No, we'd have a change of character, but not a change of trend, right? This would be the change of character, but that's not a dominant, right? That's not a break of structure. Break of structure, fuck, we're gonna have to go way up to get a break of structure. Right, so is there a trade here? Yep, there is right there. If we retrace right into that zone here, call it from 86, 87, that's a very reasonable place to look for a short with a very low risk. Right, shit, I'm doing this, screwing this little marker up. Right, we could do it that way. There's a nice trade setting up right there if offered. Right, if we can come back here now, look at the risk reward. That's what you should focus on, right? So if I can sell it there with a target down here, or even a 1618, if this is going to be a corrective and it's going to end up being not a diag, but maybe a WXY or something corrective, right? In the context of lower low, lower high. This is a correction. I don't get a new high. So if this is corrective and we're going to go impulse, if this is 1, 2, and we get a 3, 4, 5, well, of course, right? That requires that the buy side algo gets broken on this move. Right, here's what he's looking for. To get to its target, it has to break this golden zone. Right, maybe you get third target would be down here at the 1618. Now you're thinking 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going lower. Right, but not so fast. Right, I mean there's another side to the story. Right, which is why I always remind you it's on both sides. Right, so don't assume anything. Here's what I can. What can we see? We can see objectively. We know what happened here. Right, we know what happened here. We know what happened, right? We know why it's pivoting there, right? That's valuable unto itself. Now, do we get out of here? Well, again, how are you interpreting this? And if I got this and I came again, I might be interested in that long. Right? Your deduction would be that this is corrective, right? That this is some sort of motive wave and that this is an A, B, C, right? Into a golden zone. Do I not have a golden corner here? Yes, I do. Golden corner. What does that mean? It means I have 80% probability of getting that high. But over to his work, right? I have a corner going this way with 80%. Well, this one's already hit, right? So if I get another one, oh shit, here I better draw that. Let me just hide that one, just so you guys get the idea here. If I get here, I'd have another potential golden or corner, right, depending on where it pivots. If it pivots there, now I've got another golden corner, right? So I got a corner here that hit target. Now I'd have a potential here as I'd be selling in the golden zone in a downtrend at a corner here with a clear target. So I'd have 80% probability of making that median line. Now I'm going to make it here. Am I going to make it here? Am I going to make it here? I don't know when I'm going to make it. I just know I got 80% odds of getting there. Now 80% is not 100%. Right, let's be clear. These break. The premise is as long as this pivot doesn't break, 80% odds. If that breaks, well, you got to redraw it, right? It wouldn't change it. You just got to redraw it. Okay, shit, that's my wife. Okay, I got to pause for a second. Okay, I'll be back and we'll keep going here. Back to you in a second. Okay, next up I got Eric S. He's been all over this. This is EOS here. Now, he and I have been trading this together, so I'm in this as well. His work here is just outstanding, right? So I've been leaning on him a little bit because he's done he's got every swing accounted for, because I know he's been trading this for a while, and this must be a fairly big position that he's got. So I know he made money up and down, and so he's been all over this, right? So and that's the value that comes from doing all the work that he's put in here to get every swing identified. So he has conviction behind these trades. So what he's offering here, now we have two potential targets here. He's looking to get into the third, what could be the it could be the third of the one. The entire premise is built on the idea that we put in a wave 2 here at the here. I got his stuff down here. So that we put in a wave 2 down at this low, and then we would be starting into, well, it could be the one wave of the third wave, given the potential where this could go, or it could well, probably not the third wave. So most likely you're getting into the third of the first of the third. So let's zoom in there a little bit. Well, you gave me a 4-hour here, so let's zoom in here. Now we took a peek at this. You'll recall here over on when I showed it to you earlier here, we'd come right to this golden zone, and this count here, he and I have been back and forth on this. We'll note his count, right? Of course, members, right? They know that he's been conditioned to this. I've drilled this into them. So they know, right, to look there, right? So he's got a nice setup here. Looks like he's already long. So he's got, well, you've got a trading plan here. So you have the idea, okay, he's willing to average down to DCA that price. So he would end up like, he'd end up likely with an come here, you fucker, with a fill somewhere in this range. something like that. So, somewhere in that range. If he takes the fill here and then we get a second fill. So he's willing to take it down to the 7. What do we got here? 7. Oh, he's got the 74 and the 76 down here. But you can also notice here we got a little structural potentially. You might have a little support. You probably got a little. Oh shit! Here I'd use the whole thing, right? So you got a little demand zone here. If we're going to come down further, right? So you can see the rationale behind. Okay, if we don't hold the golden zone because crypto's in just selling off here, and potentially there's more to come if the Fed's going to drop the hammer this week. Well, he's got additional locations for entry, and it looks like he's going to use the one of these lows here as an out, so that he's not taking unnecessarily large risk. I might give this a little more. I might give it to the low of the golden zone, or pardon me, the order block here, the demand zone here, if you will. Oh, let's get you out of there. This gave you, this is the low that gave you that break of structure here, that gave you the next break of structure. So there's enough here to suggest that I can see why he's doing that. It's actually a smart way to do it. So he'd get an average price here, and then maybe with a lower price here, he could drop that stop down a hair. I mean, that's what I would do. Right? I'm trying to tell him what to do. He knows what he's doing. I think he caught this because this looked really juicy here, right? The one thought was when this, well, you can look at it here. So we had this. This is actually a good example of why Elliott is why we teach it. Okay, so here we have this long, I mean, just a beautiful expanding diag right into the one, right? It's just right by the book. You couldn't script it any better. Oh shit! It's a 5-3-5-3-5 diag. So it's 1, 2. But see, we don't overlap in the 4, so he's got to do it as a 5-3-5-3-5. Oh shit! Do we have? No, pardon me. We're doing this just as a. Excuse me. We don't overlap. Oh, shit, that's a little bit. Oh, we could do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's doing it just as an impulse. It just happens to be an impulse that looks much like a diag in that 5 is longer than 3, 3 is longer than 1. But if we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, we don't overlap, so we don't have a diag. I've been looking at it for so long. I just thought it was a diag, but it's not. It's an impulse. It's an impulse here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kicker's in the 5th, right, as opposed to the 3rd. Right, but still perfectly valid, right? So we've got that. Now, if you look at that and you say, okay, well, because we were looking at this, okay, maybe this is A, B, C, and some. But then when this came here, because you had the potential, like, oh, could we be done here? There was another thought was, oh, maybe this is A, B, C, because we had a 5 here. Okay, he and I were kind of back and forth on that, but this just looked too good, right? So you had a beautiful ABC. So you had the A, the B, and then you had this come up here. We essentially, this is all just wick up here. We're coming up to prior supply, right? Or where sellers came into the market, right? We see it come down. So I think he caught the short, and now he's teed up for the long, right? So when you put this much effort into the work here, you get that benefit. But really, if you look at this, would that have been enough to correct this whole move here? Probably not, right? Odds would say. Now, that doesn't mean it's guaranteed that that's not going to be the pivot. It just means that all we get is probabilities, that it's most likely not enough to correct length of time. So to get it in a 3 that way, now we're looking good. Now, does that mean that this holds? Of course not. Doesn't mean that. Market has no obligation to do anything. All I know is that, well, this is when we looked at, here's the reaction at the 50, here's the reaction at the golden zone. So I know algorithms are participating here. That doesn't mean we don't drop down. I mean, he's ready for that, right? I mean, he's ready for it with the buy lower, just based off of market structure and where the demand zones, right, where we can identify potential, right? It's always just potential demand to kick in. Oh shit, you could probably just do it look like this and say, okay, if we come down into this zone here, well, certainly we're in the discount range. We come down a little bit lower. Now, if this is not the 5, because you can see he's got a count in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that we get a really lovely zigzag 5, 3, 5. There's a lot of evidence to suggest this is a very reasonable place to take a long in EOS. What would make you hesitate? Well, all right, we got a big number about to drop on the market this week. Now, if it's what everybody's anticipating, well, let me rephrase that. It's what the market is participating collectively, right? It's going to be 3/4. Okay, perhaps that's already priced in. If it's anything bigger, if he drops the hammer of a full point, well, you could see everything sell off, including crypto. So, duly noted. Now, you don't feel like you have to take it right now just because it's in the golden zone. It would not be unreasonable to wait, get through Wednesday, and then see, okay, are we dropping? Or if we're going to rip here, oh, we got what we expected. It was already priced in. Okay, maybe we get that, right? So you could let that first reaction happen. There will be a retrace because people can't resist taking profits. And then maybe you're into your impulse that way. So this is very nice work, right? But he's been really all over this. Every pivot is accounted for, right? There's tremendous value in that. Tremendous, right? Just that, one, can you do it? And two, if you did, right, that you're not surprised by anything because you're ready for it because you've already done the work. So if this breaks, well, it's not going to change his count. It wouldn't change his count unless he broke this. You break this, now you're thinking, something corrective here has been mislabeled, or with more information, I've got a new look at it. But right now, this is the hard low. As long as we stay above this, what can we say definitively? I have a swing that's done in a five wave impulse. I've got a motive wave here, happens to be an impulse, and then I've got a 3 that corrects it into the golden zone. That's enough. What's the only thing that's missing here? He's probably got it just hidden. I've got. I can't remember who's. Go back to mine here, just because that's what I'm used to. All right. So here, do we not have a golden corner pocket here? Yeah, we do. Right, golden corner. Right. So here you are. Right. That's about as high a probability as you can get. You know you have an algo participating. We've got now. This is always the key. As long as this pivot holds 80%. If it breaks, now let's say it breaks. Let's say it breaks. What do we do? Like, oh, fuck, well, forget that trade. No, we just wouldn't have a golden. Right, because he's teed up here to take it at the 764, 786. Right, still a corner pocket. Now, you don't want these going too deep because the angle, right, it just gets too far and you would never go beyond the pivot. So that's about as far as you want to take them. This is why the golden is so good, right? Because you still have enough distance there. The angle is still good to get you, that kind of return, right? So you can just see, I mean, we're here with the $1.23 to 2.21. That's not a bad little trade, right? Now, nothing says that it stops here, right? We could just keep going into a wave 3. But what's the subdivision like here, right? I mean, if we got this, okay, if you got that, oh shit, here, let's do it this way. If you got it kind of like that, and you got there, I mean, don't be greedy, right? If you complete a 5 up here at a median line and an algo target, again, that's not a sell signal, but you might at the very least take a partial there. Because what are you anticipating here? Boom, boom, boom. Right? Do you want to give that back? Well, if you're comfortable with it, you let that run because you're looking to get in now the 3 of the 3 of the 1, right? So really nice work from Eric, right? He's been all over this one. So heads up, guys, that's a beautiful, very low risk entry, right? If you're not comfortable because of the Fed later in the week, just wait, see the reaction, whether it's up or down. If it goes down, you'd be looking down here, wait and see. Your call, right? But don't ever worry about missing a trade. There'll always be a retrace. Okay, got that done. So let me go. I've got next up here. Let's see if I can do these on the fly. Let me see if I can get, I got Ethan T. Let me get him up. AMWL. Shoot, I don't even know what this is. American Well Corporation. Oh, well, look what we've got setting up here. So let me, I got to make a copy of his. American Well Corporation. Well, now Ethan is a purple belt, all right? So he's very well versed in Elliott and how this algo works and median lines. So you can see here he's teeing up a potential golden corner, right? So I just bring this right over. Got a nice little, do we have a, yeah, it looks like we do. So we have a diag. Yep. So we've got a nice little expanding, potentially coming down here. Oh shit, we can bring that over. It's all wick. All right, get you in here. Now, the same kind of idea. You don't necessarily need to sit here with I don't know that I would sit here with a limit order. I want to see the reaction. And I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of distance. Now, I don't know anything about American Well Corporation, but I don't need to. Right? I see where we are here. I've got a perfect impulse. Now, this got a little tricky. Ooh, that's pretty sexy right there. So he's got an impulse, and then he goes WXY into the B wave, right? Pretty cool how he got that. And then we finish down here. So you've got a zigzag just with a complex B in the middle, right? So there's your A. Now we go high enough here. So yeah, we just were doing this in a flat. So we're going to go A, B, C, right? So we're going to do a 3, A, B, C, 5, right? So we're doing a flat, which is why he's, for a flat, you'd be anticipating, you'd be coming down into some of this. Oh, here we could use last down before the up. Over here, we could probably use all of that as a demand zone here to bring over here. You don't have to be, where's the range here was tested once, so it's already been mitigated here. So it may not have the same muscle, but you got a golden zone there. So I wouldn't worry about that. If it breaks, well, you'd be looking for the next one down here. But right now it's set coming into that here. Now the question is, okay, what have I got here? It looks like 1, 2, 3. It potentially could be done. Now per that count, if I'm looking at that on a 30-minute, you just have to be mindful of it. If this is the 1 and this is the 2, well, okay, 1, 2, 3. It looks like we got 3. 3 could be going in, but you just be mindful of 3 can't be the shortest, right? That's all you have to worry about there. Right, in terms of looking for where that comes in, might be, might come over a little bit if it's going to take a little more time. Right, again, remember we've got Wednesday's a big day, right? Big day for the market. So if we drift down into that, same thing. I would likely wait. I'd want to see the reaction. I don't know how far that goes. You might look here as a reasonable spot, and then if you get a little 3 down here, that's the safer way to do it. Okay, thanks, Nathan T. Always, man, his work is. I don't have to do anything. Just post it. Okay, so I got CN Salazar, Velo 3D. I think this is one we've looked at before. He must be trading this one. All right, bear with me here. We'll get it up here, and there is Velo 3D. So let me make a copy so I can work with it. And let's get this up, Velo 3D. So I've got a daily. Oh, this looks kind of wacky. So let's, wow. Not using logs since less than 400%. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so we're going to stay out of log. And I'm going to just hide this to get a little screen space. I always like to wick off the lowest low. Well, that looks like that's too far, but it looks like you would have broken here. Yeah, you would have. I don't even think that. I think maybe. Oh shit. Curious in log how we look, but no. Okay, so let's stay out of log since that's how he's analyzing. So we're too far here. Looks like you might have some relationship likely. These are just too big to not have some relationship. Well, it's kind of somewhat surprising. Not bad. I'm gonna find it. Give me a second here. I'll find it. There are no. There it is. Okay, so there are no random pivots, right? So it's going to be something in here, right? So here's the length of this swing. We come all the way down 1618, right? So we get the 1618, the length here coming back down. So just often just takes you a minute to find it. But again, there are no random pivots in the market. Right. Okay, so here we go. So swing down up now. If this is just corrective, ABC. Let's get you out of here now. We figured out what it was. 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as we stay above this, right? That's perfectly valid. The 2 to the 4, isn't necessarily what you'd hope for. Let's see. Well, I'm getting a daily. Let's go to a 4 hour. I get a 4 hour. There's not much else there. Well, of course. Let's zoom in there a little bit. Well, again, right? So mindful of the algo, right? So on both sides, right? Never gets turned off, right? So we got to look here and say, whoa, what happened here? Well, let's just do just golden zone, right? So we've got a potential, right? We've got a candidate. If we can't break here, well, truncation, all right, maybe. But this looks like a 5. So that looks like you've got an ABC underway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like you can go A, 1, 2, 3, B, right? Possibly C. Get those in some colors that I use here. So 1, 2, okay, could be ABC. Can we get it done? I don't think we can get it done any other way. That looks like 1, 2. So it doesn't look like you could get this to fly as a motive wave, unless we're going to kick here. Yeah, I'm not seeing that. Velo 3D. This sure looks like a 3. So so the alternate would be that this is an ABC, and well, shit. Actually, the alternate we could have it 2 ways, right? This could be 1, 2, and we're going to go 3, 4, 5, right? I mean, here's 0. Well, you got to be careful. Where's 0, right? So I'd be watching for that, because if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, are we going that low? Oh. Right, so maybe that's why he's thinking that you've got a candidate here for a 4, but what's the hurdle, right? Of course, right? It's got to break the sell-side algo. All right, that's good-looking work there. Thanks for posting that, CN Salazar. Okay, here's one of my favorite members, Trade Diva Down Under. She loves trading FX, and since she's in Australia, often sending the Aussie. Okay, so let's leave that one. And this is the Aussie dollar, and she's got a little comment. Working the TA for a 1-2 setup, wave 3. Okay, so let me make a copy of hers and save. All right, you're giving me a 3-day. Okay, so bear with me, guys. I guess this is. Oh shit! I suppose since I'm not doing this live, I'm doing live stream format here. I could probably just pause it, and I would have done this in advance. But here I am. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, that's well, that's the financial crisis. So yeah, I got a lot. This is on a 3-day here. That's the financial crisis. We come up with a 5, and we've gone. Okay, well, this is kind of interesting. So, boy, the 1 is a bit of a bitch. Well, this you can't call it. Well, I mean, it's corrective, but you can't get that into a 3, and then we do get the 5 here. So I think she's probably got the. I think she's probably got the right idea. Again, here on a 3-day, does it really matter? That looks like it's too far. Looks like you broke the buy side. Yeah, you did. Oh, interesting though. Jesus Christ. I'd be curious if I got to log. Uh-oh. Oh, God, don't give me a problem trading you. Not in the middle. Why did we not? There we go. Yep, it's just wicks. Interesting. Okay. That's too much a break, and even on the 3-day, right, you got plenty of closes. So it looks like it went 786, but interesting, went right to the target. Okay, so I digress. Okay, so if this is okay, what is it? Let's go with a okay, well, she left me hanging here. Okay, so we got to finish this, right? So this would be A, B, C. All right, so something corrective here. Has to be, right? So we're coming down here. Now we've come down, okay, as long as we stay above this pivot here. Right, we still have the candidate here for an internal retracement. Now the Elliott doesn't fit as well, right? What you would have preferred was impulse correct, but we've got 3 followed by looks like complex, or looks like you could have an impulse here. So you could have one. Oh, that's ugly, isn't it? So how would that? Oh, shit. Let's go to the weekly. How are we going to make that fit? Well, one thing that how do you not check this? Well, there you go, guys. All right, so could we be going that far? Well, oh, Jesus Christ. Look at this. Okay, so this is, I hadn't even seen this. Look at that, at the 50, right? And then we come back here, and then look at this. Again, right, if your mind is not blown from this, you got tough to blow your mind. Okay, so, I mean, there you go. This is a weekly chart. Those are to the tick, right, from the high. I'm right on the high. right? I mean, 50 golden zone. Once again, right? Or do I need to do anything more than what we've shown you here? Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So possible, but it doesn't quite make sense, right? So if this is a 5 and this is the 3, oh shit, the whole thing could just be a big ABC, right? They're at this degree, right? You can't do much. Oh, I'm sure we have more. Well, maybe not, right? 72. That may be the full history of it. Well, okay, so we could do this a couple of different ways. We could just look down here and say, okay, well, there's the support zone, right? We get down here, right? Buyers get interested. Well, we sure got interested down here. Now we've come back here. There's nice geometry here. So what is she doing here? Oh, this is nice. So she's got a macro. She's using the volume profile here to get the value area range. Jesus, if I can get it out of my mouth. So I've got a value area high, value area low, right? Well, she's just drawn those across. So you can see we've gone up to this value area high, and you can see how that has been really consistent. Here, I'll just pull it here. Really consistent resistance, right? The value area high. So we come up to it, 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 can't get through. Right, same thing with the value area low. Here, I'll just do the same thing, but we'll just do it on the low end. Right, now here, yeah, we're getting through, so I'd probably split this up. Oh, we could do it this way. Just looking here now, all right, I might split it again. Looking for any confluence that I can find here. So all I've done is just, well, shit, I could have done it this way, right? We just created our own little demand zone here, and here's where we get into discount, right? Here's premium. So we've come back. So it's nice work here, TradeDevils. So up we go. We get an impulse. We're coming back to this range of support. Note it's the value area low. Now she's teed up a corner pocket, right? So we got a 5 up. We've got potentially we've got a 3 down. Although it looks like there could be more legs down here. She's got it teed up. You might get gold in there. Let's dig in there. Let's go. Oh shit, let's go to a 3-day. Let's see if I can get in there. Now this is, well, when you're trading the 3-day, this is not easy trading, right? Because the potential here, where this is you buy a new beach house if you catch this, right? So where's the target? Monster, right? Monster potential. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got the zigzag underway. So I've got an impulse down. I've got an expanded B into a B here. So what she's after here is getting that golden zone. Oh, geez, this looks really sweet. Okay, so looks like you might have it. Looks like you might have it coming down as well. Well, so you guys know what I'm looking for here, right? Well, if this is the 1, this is interesting. All right, so if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is A, B, C, this is not a bad way to pull that, right? Because this is just wick here, and well, this is wick as well, but this completes the 5. So if we come back golden zone, so look, oh God, that's just unbelievable. Look what's happening here. So we've got the down sloping trend line here as we hit the golden zone, and then we've got a median line here, but that remains to be, we don't have the corner here yet, so that's really not relevant. But we've got this trend line here that we've come up, we hit the trend line as we hit the golden zone. Here's the target hit. Where's second target? Oh, do I have second on here? Let me make sure I've got it. I thought I did. Second is right down here. So if you can see that, so here's the -6. So here's the 23. We've already got that. So if we pull down here, here's the next golden zone. The 65 is on top of the -618. So if we were, oh my God, this is just as good as it gets, right? If we get this, whew, Trade Diva, you're gonna have a monster on your hands here. Okay, so if this is now, how can we get that done? Okay, so we've got the B. We've got, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. Do I want that? That's not really what I want. All right, so let's see if we can make this work. Boy, we're out on a... Well, potentially we'd have the extension in the 1. So you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's call this 1 because we're trying to finish. If this is a B, we're trying to finish a C, 2. Do we have a 5? That looks like that's an ABC. Now that may not work. Well, let's just see here. Let's go to a daily. Let's see what we've got here. Let me see if I can work through this. All right, well, now you can very, very clearly see the impulse coming down. Okay, let me get that something reasonable. Okay, here. I guess I should have done this beforehand. I'm kind of used to the live stream where I just do it on the fly. Okay, so we've got possibly, so good looking 1 here. If this is the B, let's take you up a degree or 3. Okay, so if this is A, B, C into the golden zone here, we get a B, and now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so it looks like, we just looked at this. If this completes the 5, now we're coming back to the 50. There's the target. Now we're going to go again, right, is always the case. Now, if we go here, break, we got to go back 1. Right, that's what the algo will do. If it breaks here, it'll go back 1 until it runs out of pivots. Right, so we could actually go here. Well, since we're trying, so this would be a diag. We want to be looking for if it's going to hold as a diag. Now we'd have to be watching for 5 to be, just make sure that 3 is not the shortest, right? So here, let's put this in something. Oh, that's too small. Let's go to micro. Okay. So if we're going to do this as a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 diag, so you'd have 5 here. You can see there's 5 here. There's 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Oh shit, we could be done here. So, let's just be sure you're following this. Okay, so this would be one. Oh, here I'll label it. Let me go. Maybe you can see a little bit better on the 12. Okay, so you got this 5, right? You'd have to. Oh shit, how are we doing this? A, B, C. And let's get this labeled here. So it looks like you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the long. Oh shit. Oh, it doesn't matter. 5 down here. If that's going to play as our 5, we'll see. Okay, hang on. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's some sort of diag monster in there. I don't worry about the subdivision. Okay, so there's a 4, right? So typically, most commonly, right? In a diag like this, you want to be looking for the 4 as a relation between the start of the 1, the pivot, or the 3. Now, we're not positive that this isn't A, B, C, that the 3 is not over here. Right? If it's going to be a diag, we could do it this way. This could be A, B, C of the 3. All right, we've got this double bottom going on here. Oh, shit. Here, let me get this one out of here. I don't remember what that was. Oh, that's me just taking that out of there. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, this is a little trick. That looks like a front run. It looks like if you use the 2, you're pretty good. But either way here, you're hitting target here. We've got this potential, right? It's just that. There's just potential support here. Well, okay, it's drifting a little bit. Okay, this is Aussie to the dollar. If we get another rate hike, right, what's the dollar likely to do? And if it's more than anticipated, right, so you might have some volatility here in anything tied to the dollar. Looks like there's 5 here via diag that could finish. So you could have 5, 3, 5. So this could be the 3 here, and then you'd be looking for the 4, 5 down here. Oof, tricky, Trade Diva. This is FX is always tricky. All right, so let's get you here. 1, 2. Well, let's measure them. So what you would want to be doing here, of course, is making sure that you have clearly marked where we would invalidate the idea that you could have a 3, 4 is in, and you've got the 5 here, or maybe a little bit lower. Here would be 100%. Right, so you can't go 1 tick below, right? Because then 3 would be the shortest, because we can see 1 is longer than 3, but we can't go any lower than that. So if we can't go to the golden zone with this count. So that's what makes me think if we are going to go golden zone and the Aussie is going to sink further against the dollar with a rate hike, then this is a candidate to consider, right? And this may not be done here, right? So we'd be thinking 1, 2, A, B, C via the a diag, right, looking for 3s. Now, the negative here, I mean, we could count this a couple of different ways. I got an impulse in the 1. So you might be thinking 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 diag, right, which we would have right here, which is why this is a tricky one. The swing structure is not quite right, so I'd be a little bit reluctant, right? So if we were thinking this and we were done here, okay, well, this is what we'd have. okay, it's not the worst I've ever seen or something that doesn't happen. It's just, it's not what you'd hope for, right? For more conviction in the long. But I've got a clear 5 here, a clear 5 here, and I do have a 5 here, although I got to finish with a diag. So let's just finish that, right? Welcome to trading. This is the reality of it. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, am I done here? Hard to call that, right? So it's another diag. So here, this might give us some help here. Remember, in a diag, we're always 1 through 3 looking for the pivot of the 4 to be the 50. Oh God, it's just I don't know that that's there beforehand, right? So look, it's to the tick. So right, so that would make you think, okay, well, we got a candidate down here. So this is interesting, right? So here would be that would be killing any potential here that this was the 3 if we're going that long. Right now, you could get right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'd finish let's pull back out. So you'd have 1, 2. This would be a gnarly diag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done via 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, right? That's what I would look for right there. So now there's no obligation here that we go to the golden zone here, but it's going to change the count. TradeDevils, do you see this, or anyone who's trading this? If this goes further here, then the count we can't count it that way because 3 would be the shortest. So you don't actually want to be hoping for that golden. You want it to come up short, because it's going to screw the count if you do, and then you're going to have to reevaluate. Then what do we have? Well, then the potential is more significant, because my first thought would be that this changes, because these are clear impulses, that this would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, right? Because I could have diags here in the 1s, 1, 2, right? And it's just, so we'd have a trend lower here. Again, rates going up. So we'd have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Do I get lower low? That's what I think. So, God, every time we look at this TradeDevils, it's always a little bit unclear, right? Crypto or FX is often like that. But this is a bit of a tell here, right? So I would anticipate that there's good odds here that we come down and we get this target, right? Because this is so precise, right? And it's right out of a diag. So precise. It's not guaranteed, right? There are no guarantees, but that looks like a good pivot to look for. Now, the other possibility here, which is why you wouldn't want to be shorting here, right? Because you'd be shorting in right into the potential double top, double bottom, right? There is no market more perverse about raping retail than FX, right? They just do it all day long, whether they're widening spreads or running double tops and double bottoms, right? Or you see it all the time. They might come down here, grab all the liquidity down here, up they go, right? And then just kill them, right? So that would not be a short you'd want. But what you're looking for is this to come here, for this to come down here. Ideally, we don't overlap here. Come out of here, because it's a little. You'd be in between the 50 and the golden zone. I'd be looking for something, right? You'd love to get a break of structure here that would give you a little bit more conviction that you had the hard low here. So something, even a change of character, break the 4, break the golden zone. That's really what you'd want, right? From here, let's put it all together. If this is the low, you would absolutely want to break this one, so that you know that this piece here, you're not going to fight an algo here. Now, right? Just as I've tried to emphasize, all the algorithm is going to do is go back 1. Right, so really, you're not in the clear here of the change of trend until that breaks here. Now, could it do that? Right, it could, certainly. Right, you'd have a longer wait, because this is a 12-hour chart. You can have a wait for that, but this is when you break. Then you'd be back down here. Now you're trying to say, okay, I got a good low here, and now the assumption is you'd get a motive wave here. You'd get a 5, down for the 3, and now you're on your way. All right, so that's a toughie. That's a toughie. I don't know, if you're not in it, that I'd be doing anything any long-term anything with the Fed coming on Wednesday. So just something to keep in mind. All right. I think I got that one. Okay. Last one. ZZ Anderson, who gave us some great feedback last week. And I don't know, I think Tony Talon's chart was in response to that, ZZ. So they all looked at that and duly noted. Okay, so here is MongoDB. Let's see. Look at this work. as I said, these guys have been conditioned where they're not going to put anything up without this algo. Okay, so he's for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 come down. No, he's doing it for you. Okay, so here's the algo reactions: reaction at the 50, reaction at the golden zone. But right, we ultimately break. Now, let's go down here. So this must be the all-time low. It is, right? So all he's doing is just going over here. So swing high, swing low, big reaction at the 50. Previously at the 50 and the 618, so approaching 786, 707 from all-time high. Well, I know. Okay, so we know this. So let's just mark that. All right. So we know that this is a candidate for the next potential pivot that we'd be looking for, and it would be in sync with market structure here. No, maybe, right? It's always just potential. We've got that double top here. So was resistance, support. Are we gonna support again? Well, let's just wait. Let's just hide this for a second and see if we had any help on the way down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we know those were algo ticks, but of course we want to check the sell side. Now this looks like it might have broken. Nope. Jesus, I should know better. Okay, so here it is. Right? Oh boy. I guess hopefully the beginning of this video teed this up for you. Okay, we got a 5 down. We come back all the way. Note, not the 618. Into the golden zone. Where's the target? Right there. God, could he have another one here? He might, actually, but it looks like it might be too far. Yeah, it is. All right. Oh, is that wick? Let's just take a look there. A little big. Nope, you do have a close above. So we have to go up one. Voila. All right, do you see what all I did there? All right, so here was we know they use this. All right, so I'm going to go back a pivot because that's what the algorithm's going to do. If it broke here, now it'll just go back to the next pivot. And ultimately, right, this is the last one, but I can go right here to the secondary pivot. That's 50 to the tick. Okay, so Jesus Christ, look at this, guys. Okay, so, oh, shit. Oh, no, did he pull it from the 2? I can't remember what he pulled it from. Yeah, he pulled it from the 2. Okay, so on the way up, working off of the 2, we ping 60, we ping golden zone, we go up golden zone, down, break this side. So this guy breaks. Now we come back up 50 to the tick. Do you want to bet against it getting that algo target? I wouldn't. Is that potentially a long here? Well, it's a candidate, right? You've got a lot of ingredients there, but nothing says we don't just free fall here. So I'd be looking, right? You don't want to catch the falling knife. That is a fucking falling knife, right? So you would want to be here saying, okay, show me the reaction. Okay, I got a reaction. Good. Now, it's not likely to do that. So don't FOMO because you're worried it's going to do that, right? It's not likely to do that. I mean, here would be a very, very reasonable place to anticipate some resistance. Plus, you're going to have an algo there anyway. If this comes off of here and we get a little 5 right now, it may not be just a perfect little impulse like that, but any sort of emotive wave here, well, you're just going to say, okay, good. I'm feeling good about that pivot. Now, you got to be patient. Right? This is a daily chart, right? Which frustrates a lot of traders. They don't want to wait. They don't want to wait that long, right? So they FOMO in. So, I mean, there it is right there, right? That's the way you would want to approach that, right? Boom. Man, I'm getting pretty good at drawing those. Just freestyle, right? Now, what would we have here? Golden corner. Do you see how this all gets, right? It's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. That's the power of it. If you just do this the same way, you're going to have a much better experience. Well, let me say it this way. If you're not doing this and you're watching this video, that most likely you're looking to improve, right? If you're an absolute trading master and you're not watching this video. If you're someone who's looking to improve, if you are not featuring this, like the focal point of your TA, I mean, I don't know what else I can put in front of you, right? Just this video alone. I don't know if I could put a price tag on this. I probably can't. I mean, what's it worth? $1 million? $10 million, $20 million to the right person. You can't put a limit on what this is worth. Here, I'm just giving it to you for free. All right. Well, so do with it what you will, right? But you can't say you haven't been informed. All right. There we go, guys. I don't think we looked at a single chart where this wasn't the dominant feature of it. Not one today, right? All the ones that I took you through. So I'd encourage you to, if you're not clear, like, how did all of this come together? Go watch that video. That's 30 minutes. You'll be glad you invested. Okay, guys, that's everything I got for you today. I don't know about Wednesday. Money Crypto, you guys know, well, members know, but he's got newborn twins, and he's managing that, right? So his schedule is a little crazy right now as well. But if not him, one of us will be back. Maybe one of the other senseis. Sensei Tudum, he's been posting a lot of content as well. Okay, so you'll get more from us, and I'll have some other things coming at you this week. So appreciate you guys, right? Always appreciate that. I don't say it enough. But any of my YouTube subs, we appreciate you. If you ever wanted to join us, right, you can join us for free. Right, come on in. Well, you want to get into really where I really go through this algo in great detail is in the blue belt, right? So if you get into that, right, you'll get a lot out of that. Okay, guys, have a good one. I'll be back sometime soon this week. Okay, take it easy.